Hi there, Taurus. Welcome to your June 2024 tarot reading. It's Rena here. I think I'm going to cut the cards again and get another. Okay. So actually, this is really cool because there's two cards that I would say are very good for career matters. Now, just talking about astrologically, Jupiter has now officially gone into Gemini. I'm recording this on the last day of May. And that means that it has entered your second house of earned income. This is the house that you rule in astrology. And the reason that connects with this reading is because I got a clarification card of the Six of Wands, which can be success, taking a bow, recognition. It can be good for career matters. The wands can connect to career, and then you have in the top left, you have as a matter of fact, I'll pick this up. You have the Chariot card, which is a card of also a card of victory. Okay, so winning a victory. Now this is even the past position. Maybe it's the recent past where you have. It could have even been a hard won battle. Okay, and so whatever this, and also I should say too that the Chariot card connects with Cancer energy. So it might even be a person in your life that was influencing things, or if this is relationship related, the Cancer person, it's like there's a fire person and a Cancer type of person, or somebody with a Cancer signature, which is like a definite a what do you call it, like contrast in personalities, because the fire sign, because we even have here as the original outcome card that I wanted clarification on, um the that's a fire energy. I even think of the King of Wands as Leo. I don't know if it's associated, it might be even associated with Sagittarius, but you have something in common with Leo. So you're both fixed signs. You might irritate one another, but you have like this physical, like this animal magnetism as well. And it might not even be with your sun signs. It might be with like the Mars sign or something like that. But anyway, the King of Wands, I mean, we can look at these things symbolically, and we can say that the King of Wands is being the captain of your ship. Okay, and that the Chariot, which is in the past position, is that there may have been something that you can call like a win, maybe in recent months, that has allowed you to see how you can rely on yourself to get what you want out of life. You could even look at the King of Wands as the minor arcana version of the Magician card, I would say. And actually, that's connected to Aries, the Magician card. So yeah, I mean, there's a possibility. So all of that stuff that we call manifestation, um, I think too many people assume it's just like something dropping in your lap and you don't have to lift a finger. And really, it's about aligning with a sense of sovereignty, which means that no matter what is happening in the outside world, you believe that you can succeed. You're not dependent on outer forces, in other words, and that can even include an outer job, outer employment, that you can make. You can create your own business, your own way of earning money. It doesn't even have to be that formal, like a business. It could simply be that you're telling people that you're available to work in there, whatever they're doing, but you're not. It's like you're what do they call it? Like a free agent. You don't have this sense of like, oh, I'm owned by this company or what have you. And one of the things about Cancer, just talking about the sign of Cancer and what it represents, not about the Chariot card, because that could be like something in your favor that has made you understand more about um, your freedom and independence. But like just like the sign of Cancer is very cautious, and I think of Taurus that way as well, kind of conservative. I'm not talking about politically, I'm talking about just in terms of what a person does, what a person feels about life, what their ideas about what they can achieve in life. Um, some people are very cautious and they're like, is this going to really work? And they're kind of afraid to stick their neck out because they don't want to take a risk. So the King of Wands is kind of a bold energy. So whether this is a person that's coming into your life, whether this is an aspect of yourself, or maybe it could be that somebody is influencing you to be that way, that you're learning from this person how to be more bold, you know. Um, The higher message is the Page of Cups, which is really about trusting. This is the card of the child. And sometimes it can even symbolize being a bit naive because sometimes, this is like, you see that fish in the cup, it can be like Pisces energy. So it can be very trusting, but sometimes overly trusting. And that can lead to deception, but on the flip side of that is having an open heart. And having an open heart means that you trust in the universe. You trust there that good things are on their way. And that you're not just sitting there going, oh my God, this is going to be a disaster. Because that's a good way to, kind of push away the this good in your life. If this is job related, um, I really feel like there's a shift within Taurus. Again, Jupiter in the second house can give you a lot of optimism as far as money is going, and kind of like that dreaming big vibe, that feeling like everything's going to turn out all right. Sometimes there can be optimism, so some people have to be careful that they're not getting carried away. But I do feel that Taurus as a sign tends to be more cautious than just overly optimistic, and so this can be more for you, like you're willing to take a chance and to believe in yourself. What crosses you, what kind of like may stop that a little bit, is the Nine of Pentacles, which is a card of financial self-reliance. For some people, you may not feel like you're there yet. So if something has been telling you kind of like that you should be starting a business or leaving a job and you're resistant to it, it could be because you feel that you cannot pay your bills without having a job. I'm not one of those people who thinks that people should just like quit their jobs because they have this great idea that, for their own business or what have you. The only time when I don't tell people what to do, but personally, if I were in that position and I had a job that was okay, but I didn't see myself investing years into this job in the future, because I know that I wouldn't want to do that, but it wasn't something that was just so stressful. I don't think it's very wise to kind of like just leave unless you feel like you're going to have some kind of a breakdown. And I mean, it doesn't have to be mental, but even physical, like it's just stressing you out, because then that could really be catastrophic. So I mean, in those situations, it's a totally different thing. You're doing that to protect yourself. But if it's not like that, and you have this great idea for business, why not, do it on the side and not put so much pressure on it to succeed right out of the box? Because, being conservative about it and thinking about it and saying, okay, well, maybe it's going to take some time to take off. You don't want to put financial pressure on yourself. Um, But there might be, I feel like if this is love related, that you're really attracted to someone, and there's like maybe even like a really strong romantic connection that you're having with someone, and there's somebody else who is very much like, kind of like more like you typically are, where they're very kind of pragmatic, cautious, take things slowly. So you got this thing that's really fast energy and very kind of slow and cautious energy. Well, the I was going to say the problem is, but I don't mean it as a problem. What typically this can be about is that you may have uh, lust for the fire energy. The fire energy can indicate lust and passion, and the other is more about security. But the thing is that which one is likely to burn out quicker? The fire energy represented by the wands can be very passionate and intense, but it could burn out just as quickly as it comes in. And Taurus, to me, I just did a two-part series on sex and astrology, and I was talking about the lustiest signs. In Taurus, you're up there. So think about that. Think about if you're really in love or in lust with somebody, and what are you willing to throw away to get there? Because it might be that this, the Nine of Pentacles in a challenge position could be, I would say, indicating a lack of stability in this encounter. Um, And if this is like, if the King of Wands means you've just left a relationship, maybe you're kind of like sowing your wild oats, know it for what it is. Don't think that this is something that you can build upon, because it's really just getting this energy out of your system more than anything else. What's coming in is a justice card. Yes. I mean, if you're somebody who is getting divorced, then the justice card might be showing itself right here. And and also it's important to note too that um if you are in that specific situation, you might be feeling upset, underneath the surface. I mean, you might be like of two minds, where part of you, if you were suffering in that relationship, you're like, maybe you didn't end the relationship yourself. There's a good chance that you didn't, being a fixed sign, that you just kind of, the other person finally pulled the trigger on the relationship, and you're dealing with the aftermath. But you might agree that it was running itself into the ground. But it's just, the point is that um, in that type of scenario, it's there's a part of you that may be relieved that it's over with, but there might be a part of you that is sad that it didn't work out. So make sure, if you are kind of doing whatever the King of Wands is going to do, if you're sowing your wild oats, let's put it that way, that you're not doing it to try to kind of like not have to feel the negative feelings, that you're not kind of running away from uncomfortable feelings. Because the Justice card is connected to Libra. It's also about balance. It's also, being on an even keel. And sometimes people kind of go off the deep end when they're feeling upset about something, but it's coming out in a different way. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like rebellious energy, I would say. But the justice card can be simply talking about timing issues, that you're waiting on the official word that you're divorced, for instance. And when that happens, that will also usher in a new period. And then maybe you don't have to do whatever it was that you're doing because it's sinking in now and you're accepting it more. Um, the justice card can simply mean that a Libra person is going to be playing a part in your life, maybe a significant part in the month um, of June for you. I also feel, because Libra is one of the signs that are having eclipses this year, that this could be something connected to that from a timing perspective. And this actually would be your sixth house. There's going to be, which is your house of work. This is the Libra solar eclipse is happening in October. So if you have been kind of like in between jobs, or maybe you just like, yeah, I mean, and it could be because you just like said, I quit, but you haven't been able to get something going. King of Wands can be like you're in the driver's seat, but maybe there is going to be a time when you will have your pick of the litter as far as job opportunities to present themselves to you. So it's all good, in other words. The outcome is the Nine of Wands. This is a card of kind of being wary, watching your back, kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop in some way. In terms of relationships, it could be, like an ex that maybe, the ink hasn't dried on the divorce document, and then you hear from that person when they were the one that initiated the divorce. And it's kind of like crazy making. It's like, why would somebody do that? Well, if they're a narcissist, it's very easy because to see why. Because they want to be still in control. They want to come across as relevant in that situation. And it's kind of like game playing at the end of the day. So you have the opportunity to not feed into that. You don't have to allow somebody to kind of, play you. Um, but you have to be aware that you may hear from that person. I think it's very important. So maybe I'll be the first one to say it. You may hear from this person from your past. If that person's a Cancer, maybe the person's a Cancer, who knows? The point is that be wary about them because they may have an agenda and you may not see it. The Nine of Wands is right under the Page of Cups. That could be naivete, that a person, the Taurus person, is so happy to hear from this person who left them that they're throwing all logic out the window. You don't want to do that. I picked a clarification card, Six of Wands. Oh yeah, and also what came to me is if you got laid off from a job and now they want you back. This has been a phenomenon that's been happening the last few years. And the thing is, it's like initially you might be like, "Oh wow, this is so cool. They couldn't live without me," or whatever. But be very careful because it could be opportunistic behavior on somebody else's part, or simply game playing manipulation. So don't just like assume that somebody's doing something with good intentions. I know that sounds very cynical. I don't mean it to, but keep that in mind. The Six of Wands, I picked a clarification card. This is a card associated with Leo. Could be a timing card. But I would say too that this is a card of recognition, taking your bow. But also, if you're in a situation, so it doesn't matter if it's like your private life or your professional life, where you don't feel valued, that you keep that front and center in your mind as an important thing that you have expectations for in a relationship. Like, you're not going to allow someone to look down on you. And that's not just looking down on you, it's really like devaluing you. And it could be taking you for granted. It might not be that they're criticizing you or putting you down verbally, but they take you for granted. The workplace, don't pay you what you're worth. Um, Assume that you're always going to be there. These kinds of things are very important. And actually, the Justice card is a card about fairness. So, do you feel, if you are currently working somewhere, that you are valued and that you are paid what you're worth? If you're not feeling that, ask yourself why you're there. And that can bring up a whole other can of worms. I get it. But there might be some reason why you are taking your bow, uh, why you are in a position where something will. I think in August, this is going to be very likely the month that this might take place, because there's going to be a full moon in your 10th house. And so over the summer, think about ways that where you can, things you can do in either your professional life or your private life to kind of signal that you are taking yourself seriously, that you have pride in your worth. Okay? All right, Taurus, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.